let's first talk about mid-sized businesses, finance, and AI. What do you see as the biggest opportunity, and let me ask the opposite, and the biggest hurdle for small and mid-sized businesses when it comes to embracing AI in their finance operations?
I think the biggest challenge that every business has is managing all the mundane rote tasks that actually fill up the back office operations. And so when I think about all the workflows and the friction that that causes, all the documents that are required, all the payments that need to be made, the reconciliations that need to happen, the collaboration with team members, with your customers, with your suppliers, like all of that is friction to actually getting back to what you love to do. And so whether you're a mid-sized growing business or a small business starting out, you want your time to focus on the things that give you energy and that make the world a little bit better. And so what we do at Bill is we kind of first take all of that off the plate so you can actually focus on that. And what I see AI doing is really changing the name of the game for what it is that businesses can expect from tools like Bill when it comes to their financial operations. The ability for us to go from a do-it-yourself, which that would be what people use with checks and filing cabinets and sticky notes, to do it with you, which is Bill today, where we actually help all of our customers connect to a do it for you, which is what agentic AI is going to do. It's going to really transform all the processes that finance leaders have, and they're going to be able to focus on strategic insights versus just running the back office.
Well, let's ask you for a reality check here. With automation and AI handling more of the financial workflow, we're hearing more and more about this autonomous back office. Do you think we're close to a world where the finance function runs largely on its own?
Yeah.
Or will it always require humans in the loop?
Well, I think all technology requires humans in the loop. So, I mean, I guess my contrarian viewpoint would be is we are close to having autonomous finance become more a reality than it's ever been. But I do believe that, going strictly autonomous is a dangerous thing when you think about money. Like, there's a lot of things that happen that you have to get right. There's a lot of trust involved. And so what we're working on, the parts that can be autonomous, is eliminating the high friction areas that businesses have, whether their employees are trying to manage documents or whether they're trying to manage connecting with suppliers or all those pains that come from a payment reconciliation process. So that can be autonomous. But when you think about the Uber, like true autonomous driving or true autonomous finance, I think it's going to take time for us to continue to learn what it is that humans do best and what it is that machines can do better. And it's just going to be a balance. And that's the way technology's always been. It hasn't been that, a wheel's invented and you have autonomous things. It's like, no, wheel actually became a leverage point for more people to do things. And so I see AI just another part of the evolution of technology to enable finance leaders to be more strategic assets to the business. And if you just think about the transition of the CFO over the last 10 years, CFOs are increasingly becoming more and more part of, the front office with the CEO. And that's a super important part. I would imagine all of your listeners and readers, they are thinking about that career path for them. And the more strategic they can be, the more valuable they can create for the business. And that gives them an opportunity to continue to change the way things are happening for their customers.
Help us understand what Bill might be up to here. I know there was an announcement earlier today about a new partnership with NetSuite embedding Bill's payment automation. But before we talk about that deal maybe specifically, tell us about the broader embedding strategy here and some of the thinking behind that.
So we have been of the mindset that you have to reach businesses where they are. So from day one, we built the capability to be able to partner, whether it's with accountants, we have over 9,000 accounting firms across the country that use Bill, or with financial institutions, we have many of the leading banks that use Bill, or software companies like NetSuite, the world's premier enterprise mid-market solution for SMB, for businesses when it comes to the ERP. Like, we've always partnered to make sure that we can be where the business is at, who they trust, where they do their business processing, all those capabilities. And so we've always believed in partnerships. So what's new about this partnership is we started, probably a dozen years ago or so with a very strong sync integration. So all the capabilities that were inside of Bill could pass through into NetSuite. And what we've announced today is that we are embedding our payments capability inside of NetSuite. So when you're inside of NetSuite and you want to actually execute a payment, you can do that now. seamlessly. It integrates with your bank. Obviously, the payments are made, reconciliation happens, information comes back. All of that happens. You don't have to leave NetSuite. You don't have to upload a file to the bank. You don't have to do anything other than just say pay. Now, there's a huge opportunity to leverage the Embed 2.0 capabilities that we have, which enable any number of businesses to say, I want to help our customers with their financial operations, with their payments capability. Bill supports 1% of GDP going through Bill. We're trusted by businesses, close to 500,000 businesses across the globe. We have an opportunity to kind of take that scale and that leverage and throw that into where businesses are. And so NetSuite's announcement today is a good example of us just having an opportunity to serve more customers with our capabilities inside of the world-class solution that NetSuite is.
Now, you talked about the major banks and the accounting houses, and these were really important to Bill's foundational growth. How do you see that ecosystem evolving? It's an interesting, really strategic foundation that you formed there. How is that going to evolve in the future? What does it mean for SMBs in the future?
I think the thing that we can do to help, whether it's an accounting firm or a bank or NetSuite, is to continue to leverage the scale that we have, which is significant. It's billions of transactions that have gone through the platform. It's billions of dollars a week that go through the platform. It's millions of payments that get made. Using that scale to actually make it much simpler for them to actually take care of those friction points so that we can eliminate those friction points on managing payments, receivables, spend and expense capabilities. When you eliminate that friction, what it does for whether it's the mid-market company or the SMB or the startup, what it does, it means that those leaders that are responsible for that, they get back to what they love. They get back to actually making decisions that are more strategic for the business. They might even get back to spending more time with their family. Whatever it is that they want to do, running and making payment runs in the middle of the night is not something anybody wants to do, and yet they have to do. And so our capabilities streamline this, make it super easy for them to do. And so our partnerships with accountants, our partnerships with banks, financial institutions, this is all about, again, meeting the customer where they're at and giving those individuals the capabilities that the Fortune 500 had. So we focus on the Fortune 5 million, and we make sure that they get all the leverage and capability of our experience over the last 2 decades and all the scale that we've developed so they can get back to what they love. And that's something that, we're excited to do with our partners.
Would love to have you look back in time and just compare, the early days. And I think this company's nearly 20 years now. So 2006, 2 decades of growth. Tell us something about, as an entrepreneur, how it feels. What do you think? Is it fundamentally different today to start a business than it was in 2006? What's changed?
The things that changed is that the technology enables you to focus on what you love and not what you don't love. And so when you think about running a business, whether it's making payments, whether it's collecting on your invoices, whether it's creating invoices, whether it's spend and expense, doing receipts and expense reporting, none of that is something that people love. I happen to like it. That's why I started the company. I enjoy that part of, matching, and the accounting me just gets excited about it. But most businesses don't. That's not what they get in business to do. And so what's different today is there are way more tools today that will enable a business to actually bypass the friction that happens with starting a business and get them into the fun of running a business, which is building and creating the solutions that you want for your customers. That's why everybody gets in. They think they have something to give back to the world. They do have something to give back to the world, and enabling them to be able to do that day one without the hassle of of running a business, the grind, if you will, that it is to run a business. That's what we get excited about at Bill. It's what we're enabling. And today is so much easier because of the tools that we've been able to build as well as others. And where it's going with AI is really exciting. Whether it's autonomous or not in the next year, I would agree with you, it's probably not the next year, but our ability to kind of make it more autonomous tomorrow than it was today, that is going to be a leverage point. It's going to be an unlock for businesses everywhere. That unlock is going to be to creativity. It's going to be to more time with family. It's going to be to more opportunities to serve customers. It's going to be to anything that the business wants to do. They won't be held back by the grind of running a business.
We've been talking about with finance leaders for years now the promise of real-time financial insight and how that's going to really transform how businesses operate. But I would argue, and I'm curious, real-time financial insights inside SMB companies, it's it hasn't been fully realized by a long stretch yet. There's lots of companies that are just beginning to benefit from this, but at the same time, it's a small percentage overall, or no? Would you look at the world differently?
I don't think I look at it differently. I would say I look at it as an opportunity to continue to, enhance the experiences that customers have. And so, from my experience, that, the financial insights that businesses want, they want them, they need them, they don't have them. What I would say is that they don't have the capabilities because they necessarily haven't developed them in school because they did something else or whatnot. And what we're able to do is to take the sheer vastness of data that we have. Like I said, it's millions of transactions a week. It's billions of dollars a week. It's over $1 trillion on the platform over all time. That amount of scale allows us to start seeing patterns. Now, we use that today for how we interpret data when it comes to automatic data entry of the invoice. We also use it for fraud management, and we are starting to use it for insights. And the way I see the insights is that this is a chance to actually help businesses get started with the foundation of something to actually go from, versus to being an autonomous thing saying, go do X, Y, and Z. Like, that's going to take time to learn. But I think there's a lot of capabilities that are coming right out of the gate today.
René Lacerte, CEO and founder of Bill, thank you for making time for us.
Thank you, Jack. Pleasure to talk to you. Take care.